Hello and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya TV. I am Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Well, it is the day 3 of the Pampore encounter and a gun battle between security forces and guerrillas continue. One militant has been killed. That is the top story today morning. Also, we'll get you all the details on ailing Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha's health. Now, her portfolios have been allocated to Selvam. Now, Amit Shah and Jayalalithaa are likely to meet her at Apollo hospitals. All the details on that story as well. Let us begin with the headlines. Prime Minister attacks Pakistan on terror, says need for global response to uproot those who harbour and finance terrorists. Operation to flush out militants from government building in Pampore in Jammu and Kashmir still on. It has been more than 48 hours since terrorists stormed the building. Tamil Nadu Governor allocates portfolios held by Chief Minister Jayalalithaa to Finance Minister O. Selvam, says move in interest of state administration. "14 killed as gunman opens fire in a Shiite mosque in Kabul. Attack as pilgrims gather to celebrate Ashura. Gunman killed by security forces." And India bagged the test series against New Zealand 3-0 win Indore test by 321 runs. R. Ashwin is the man of the match and series. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched a blistering attack on nations that harbour and finance terrorists. Addressing the Dussehra rally in Lucknow on Tuesday, the Prime Minister said that the need of the hour is a global fight against nations that export terror. The Prime Minister also pitched for equal rights for women during his address.
आतंकवाद ये मानवता का दुश्मन है.
The thrust of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Dussehra message. He called upon the world to unite against terrorism. In a veiled attack on Pakistan, he asked for zero tolerance towards those who support and harbour terrorists.
विश्व की मानवतावादी शक्तियों का आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एकजुट होना अनिवार्य हो गया है. जो आतंकवाद करते हैं उनको जड़ से खत्म करने की जरूरत पैदा हुई. जो आतंकवाद को पनाह देते हैं, जो आतंकवाद को मदद करते हैं, अब तो उनको भी बख्शा नहीं जा सकता.
In his 20-minute speech during Ramleela celebrations in Lucknow on Tuesday, the Prime Minister said that a vigilant population can thwart any attempt by terrorists to carry out any terror attack.
125 करोड़ देशवासी हम राम तो नहीं बन पाते हैं, लेकिन अनाचार, दुराचार, अत्याचार के सामने हम जटायु के रूप में तो कोई भूमिका अदा कर सकते हैं. अगर 125 करोड़ देशवासी एक बन करके आतंकवादियों की हर हरकत पे अगर ध्यान रखें, चौकन्ने रहे, तो आतंकवादियों का सफल होना बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
He also used the opportunity to advocate equal rights to women from all faiths and appeal to people to stop discriminating between a girl and a boy and protect the सीताs of our homes.
महिलाओं के अधिकार समान होने चाहिए. महिलाओं को 21वीं सदी में न्याय मिलना चाहिए. किसी भी परंपरा से जुड़े क्यों न हो, किसी भी समाज से जुड़े क्यों न हो, महिलाओं का गौरव करने का ये युग हमें स्वीकारना होगा.
Modi became the first Prime Minister to attend a Ramleela event outside Delhi, and his participation at the Ashbagh celebrations assumes significance in the context of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh early next year. Bureau Report, Rajya TV. The opposition parties, however, saw the Prime Minister's visit to Lucknow for Dussehra as politically motivated. Now, taking a dig at the Prime Minister, UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav said on Monday that Modi would have visited Bihar had the state been facing elections like Uttar Pradesh. Now, BSP Supremo Mayawati and Congress have also accused the Prime Minister of politicizing the surgical strikes for political gains.
किस रूपक में अपने आप को ढाल कर जा रहे हैं मैं इसके बारे में तो नहीं जानता, लेकिन अभी तक यही रहा है कि प्रधानमंत्री जो हैं जब भी रहे, जब से हमने होश संभाला है, हमने दिल्ली की रामलीला में उनको देखा है। हमें अच्छा लगता इस तरह से वो कहते हैं कि हर त्योहार वो जो है वो ऐसी जगहों पे मनाते हैं। आज कश्मीर जल रहा है और जिस वक्त वो दिवाली मनाने कश्मीर में गए थे, तो अगर आज वो दशहरा मनाने कश्मीर में जाते तो सही माने में आज हमारे सैनिकों का सम्मान होता।
When the Prime Minister went to Jammu and Kashmir to celebrate his first Diwali after assuming office, the opposition did not ask then as to why you went to Jammu and Kashmir to apply balm to the people there. When the Prime Minister went to Siachen to in fact be with the Jawans of Siachen, the opposition did not ask then as to why the Prime Minister was in Siachen, whether there was an election in Siachen or not. So today when Prime Minister is going to Uttar Pradesh in a historic move, why is the opposition questioning? This only shows the sense of insecurity dwelling within the hearts of opposition parties.
And big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Well, the encounter in the Pampore district is still underway. Now, security forces launched a fresh offensive to launch out terrorist hold up inside a government building. And these terrorists, believed to be 2 to 3 in number, had taken control of the 7-storied building on Monday. Meanwhile, 9 people were injured in a grenade attack on a paramilitary patrol party in South Kashmir's Shopian district.
48 hours after it started, security personnel were engaged in a joint operation to flush out terrorists holed up inside a government building in Kashmir's Pampore district. All through the night, loud explosions, gunfire and smoke were reported from the Entrepreneurship Development Institute building. 2 to 3 terrorists reportedly sneaked inside the 7-storied structure on Monday. The army cordoned off areas around the building. An army soldier was injured in the encounter. According to reports, the terrorists could have entered the complex after arriving on boats on the Jayalalithaa River that flows into Pakistan.
So this is a part of series of the actions being undertaken by the terrorists who had crossed over earlier, who had been pushed across earlier by the Pakistanis. These terrorists had taken shelter in different parts of the valley, and after our cross-border surgical strike, they were given instructions to carry out different operations. So, they want to hit us back. So Pampore is a part of that, and all these series of attacks, Handwara, etc., were a part of that.
In another incident, at least 9 people were injured in a grenade attack on a CRPF patrol party in Shopian district of South Kashmir. The injured included 2 security personnel and 7 civilians. The militants behind the attack escaped while a search operation is on to capture them. Curfew was enforced in the interior areas of Srinagar as a precautionary measure to maintain law and order. Normal life is affected for the 95th day in a row on Tuesday as businesses remain closed and people stayed indoors in response to a shutdown call by separatists. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, news coming in from Pakistan. Well, a prominent Pakistani journalist has been barred from leaving the country after he reported about a suspected rift between the civilian and military leadership. Now, Cyril Almeida, a reporter for the Dawn newspaper, had reported that during a crucial meeting, the Nawaz Sharif government had told the ISI that its support for terrorist groups was leaving the country globally isolated. Now, following the report, Cyril Almeida has been put on exit control list, a system of border control maintained by the Pakistan government, which allows it to bar people from leaving the country. Now, Almeida told the world about the control measure in a tweet where he said that he was puzzled and saddened, but he had no intention of going anywhere as Pakistan was his home. On 6th of October, Almeida had reported that the civilian government had told the military leadership of a growing international isolation of Pakistan due to alleged support for militancy. Now, the Pakistani government has thrice denied the story since, with the Foreign Office terming it speculative. On Monday, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif had ordered authorities to take stern action against those responsible for publishing the fabricated story. Now, Almeida being put on the list is being viewed as an attack on the freedom of press there.
It's a serious thing because, after all, it's a direct attack from the Prime Minister of Pakistan on freedom of press. And this needs to be taken seriously by journalists worldwide and fought back, because the kind of stories we'd heard about press being given freedom in Pakistan, they were given relative freedom. But I think it's back to usual, back to the normal practice of which happens in Pakistan, where that any sort of dissent, especially in the media, is going to be muzzled.
This is not for the first time in Pakistan that some journalists have been detained in Pakistan or is forced to write what they want to write, because you see, in Pakistan since 70 years the democratical setup has not flourished due to all these things, because you have not given freedom of press to the print and electronic media.
The action against the journalist establishes two things. The first thing which it establishes is the veracity of the report itself. This shows that what was reported in Dawn was correct. And in fact, the background also makes it clear that this Dawn report was correct. The civilian government has been uncomfortable for a long time with the actions of the army and the ISI in supporting, giving shelter to and supporting terrorists.
And ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to India to take part in the BRICS summit in Goa, now Chinese experts are calling India's move to completely seal its border with Pakistan an irrational decision. While the Chinese daily Global Times quoted members of leading think tanks stating that the move will further complicate India-China relations. Now, Hu Ziyong, a research fellow for the Shanghai Academy, said that a completely sealed border will affect the already scarce border trade between the two nations. Now, Wang Dehua, another expert, said that a sealed border will further disrupt peace efforts made by the two sides. Now, Chinese experts, however, agree that the resolution of the Kashmir dispute is in the interest of China's internal security, especially in the western regions. During his visit later this week, the Chinese president is expected to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And India has conveyed to Moscow its opposition to Russia-Pakistan military exercises. Now, India has objected to Moscow's military exercise with a nation that sponsors and practices terrorism as a matter of state policy. India has said that it will further create problems. Now, New Delhi's position was conveyed by the Indian ambassador to Moscow, Pankaj Saran. This is also coming ahead of bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin to be held in Goa. Now, Moscow has, however, downplayed the concern, saying that they hold similar military drills with other regions, with the other countries of the region as well. Meanwhile, cooperation in key areas of security, defense and trade will be discussed when Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin hold talks on Saturday. Now, the two sides are expected to conclude important bilateral agreements. Vladimir Putin will be in India for a 4-day visit from 14th to 17th of October for the BRICS summit. Besides attending the summit on Sunday, Putin would also hold the 17th Indo-Russia Annual Summit, where the leaders will review the entire gamut of bilateral ties, including the progress made since their last meeting in Moscow in December 2015. A big story coming in from Tamil Nadu, where Chief Minister Jayalalithaa continues to be in hospital since 22nd of September, and the governor of the state, C. Vidyasagar Rao, has now allocated the portfolios held by her to Finance Minister O. Paneer Selvam. But he added that the AIADMK Supremo will continue to be the Chief Minister of the state. Now, a press release said that the arrangement has been made as per the advice of the Chief Minister and will continue until the Chief Minister resumes her duties. Among others, Jayalalithaa also holds the Police and Home and General Administration portfolios. Meanwhile, the opposition DMK has welcomed Governor's decision of allocating portfolios to Paneer Selvam, stating that the move is in the interest of the state's administration. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu police have arrested 2 people and registered 43 others in connection with the posting of malicious and false content on the social media about Jayalalitha's health. The police have also warned of stern action against those who are spreading rumours about the CM's health. Now, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley and BJP National President Amit Shah are expected to visit Jayalalithaa in the hospital later today. On to some other news. Well, on Tuesday, the high-level technical team constituted by the Supreme Court wrapped up its two-day assessment of the Kaveri River Basin. The team held discussions with Tamil Nadu Chief Secretary and Public Works Department Principal Secretary to assess the situation. Now, the team is expected to submit its report to the Apex Court by 17th of October after it completes its processing of the data collected from both Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Now, farmers of the Kaveri Delta region had told the team that they were incurring a loss of around 1,000 crore to 2,500 crore rupees each year due to the Kaveri dispute between the two states. Now, the expert committee is expected to outline water conservation methods, better use of water and changes in the cropping pattern along with the ground report on the situation in both the states to the Supreme Court. Now, calling GST as the most important structural reform till date by the Modi government, S&P Global Ratings on Tuesday said that the passage of the indirect tax law gives it an additional conviction of India clocking 8% growth in the next few years. In its report titled Asia Pacific Steadies While China Goes Silent, the rating agency said that India's GST passage gives us additional conviction around our 8% GDP growth forecast over the next few years. It had last month projected India to clock a growth of 8% in coming years. Now, in its APAC Economic Snapshot September 2016 report, it stated that India's structural reforms agenda had maintained strong momentum and most recently with the GST passage should propel growth higher. The latest GDP figures showed that India's growth slowed to 7.1% in April to June quarter from 7.9% in January to March. But the RBI has also said that the near-term growth outlook for India seems brighter than last fiscals and the economy is likely to expand at 7.6% in 2016-17. And in News at 10, we'll take a very short break. Up next, we have all the international and sports news. Stay tuned.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. On to some international news. And Shia pilgrims were targeted in the Afghan capital, Kabul, on Tuesday with a lone gunman killing at least 14 people in the shrine. Well, the pilgrims had gathered to celebrate Ashura, one of the most important festivals on the Shia Muslim calendar. The gunman was later killed by the security forces. Shia pilgrims targeted in Afghanistan capital, Kabul, on Tuesday. Lone gunman opened fire in a Shiite shrine, killing 14 people before Afghan security forces killed him. The attack took place at about 8 p.m. at the Karte Sakhi shrine as the Shia Muslims prepared for Ashura, a religious day of mourning. Eyewitnesses say the man dressed in police uniform shot at police with a pistol before taking one of their AK-47 assault rifles and firing randomly at worshippers. A police officer and a child were among those killed and 36 people were wounded. After a 2-hour-long battle, security forces killed the gunman. No group has claimed responsibility yet.
10 نفر زخمی را کشید، 4 نفر شهید شد، 6 نفر زخمی بود، برد شفاخانه یعنی همین علی آباد برد شد و خود نفرم که انتحاری آمده بود که کالای عسکری آمده بود.
Shiite minority have been repeatedly targeted in Afghanistan. In July, 84 people were killed in an attack on Shia Muslims in Kabul. It was claimed by the Islamic State. Another mass killing occurred in August when attackers killed 13 at Kabul University. Tuesday's attack came as Afghanistan deployed hundreds of commandos to drive Taliban militants from the capital of Helmand province, Lashkar Gah, in the south. Lashkargah is in lockdown, with many families trying to flee the fighting. Schools and universities have been closed indefinitely.
کشتی استقامت چې دی راوتلی د کشتی استقامت دا کشتی باندې کومه دغه ساحه ټول د مختار ساحه د مهاجرینو ساحه د دشمن په لاس کې او هغه بیرته د افغان ملي امنیتي ځواکو ولاسته بیرته رااله.
The wave of violence underscored unraveling security in Afghanistan as the resurgent Taliban continue a push into urban centers 15 years after they were toppled from power by the US invasion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, news from the Middle East. Well, Russia carried out its heaviest strike so far on Syria's Aleppo on Tuesday as a rebel fire killed at least 20, in which 5 were school children. Well, the raids on Aleppo killed at least 20 civilians and caused massive damage in several residential areas of the city. The army has said last week that it would reduce its bombardment, but it continues its bombardment. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported renewed heavy bombing on Tuesday. The Russian President Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, has cancelled a trip to Paris in a row over the violence in Syria, where Moscow is helping President Bashar al-Assad's forces in an operation to recapture all of Aleppo. However, French President François Hollande said that talks with Russia on Syria are vital and that they must be frank and firm. Hollande clarified that he had not planned to accompany Putin but had only offered talks on Syria.
Le dialogue est nécessaire avec la Turquie, avec la Russie, mais il doit être ferme et franc, sinon il n'a pas sa place. Sinon c'est un simulacre. Je suis donc prêt à tout moment à rencontrer le président Poutine. Mais si nous avons la possibilité de faire avancer la cause de la paix, de faire cesser.
Let's get you some more international stories in World Wrap. US Republican nominee Donald Trump has lashed out at Speaker Paul Ryan and other critics within his party. In a barrage of Twitter posts, Trump derided the highest-ranking Republican as a weak and ineffective leader. He also warned that those who have been disloyal risk handling the election to Hillary Clinton. Now, Paul Ryan is the latest Republican not to back Trump after a 2005 video emerged showing him making obscene comments about women. Tens of thousands of people were ordered to evacuate as the high water from Hurricane Matthew pushed downstream in North Carolina on Tuesday. Matthew's death toll in the U.S. climbed to 34, more than half of them in North Carolina, in addition to the 900 feared dead in Haiti. North Carolina governor warned of extremely dangerous conditions in the coming days in central and eastern North Carolina, where several rivers are at record or near record levels. White House has said that President Barack Obama will consider a variety of responses to Russia's hacking of political party organizations. It added that it was a possibility that an action may not be announced publicly. Last Friday, US had publicly pointed fingers at Moscow over the cyber attacks, this being the first time the US publicly blaming another country for hacking with the goal of influencing a US election. Beijing rapped Washington on Tuesday for its interventions in Asia. Now, speaking at the 7th annual Xinjiang Regional Defense Forum in Beijing, China's Defense Minister Wei Levitt veiled criticism at the recent US involvement in Asia's troubled spots. Washington has conducted freedom of navigation close to artificial islands Beijing has built in the South China Sea and has also agreed to deploy a missile defense system in South Korea following repeated nuclear and missile tests by Beijing's ally Pyongyang. Let's get you some sports news. First up, cricket. Well, India completed a 3-0 whitewash against New Zealand on Tuesday, winning the Indore Test by 321 runs. It was a massive victory for the hosts as they bundled out New Zealand for 153 in their second innings on day 4 of the third and final match of the series. Here is the match report.
चलिए इसी के साथ सिमटी पारी
India on Tuesday won the Indore cricket test against New Zealand and clean swept the three-match series 3-0. In the third and final test, India wrapped up the New Zealand innings at 153 in 44.5 overs, claiming a huge victory by 321 runs.
This was a situation where we firstly batted them out of the game in the first innings, and then we could express ourselves because we had gotten such a big lead. We could express ourselves properly and then give our bowlers rest and then time again to bowl at the opposition. So I think these last two tests, the way we played it, played out really nicely for us in a good balance, and that's why we were able to have both games finish in within 4 days, and quite clinical performances.
The New Zealand's second innings folded in just 1.5 sessions on day 4 with an entire day remaining.
चलिए खाता खुला और खुला बड़े ही स्टाइल के साथ.
The chief wicket taker for India was R. Ashwin, who claimed 13 wickets. It was also his 6th 10-wicket haul in 39 tests and 21st 5-wicket haul.
बहुत ऊपर की गेंद थी ये, पीछे घुसे, जब तक बल्ला नीचे आता गेंद तो जा चुकी थी. Luke Ronchi.
Ashwin also took his series tally to 27 wickets and was chosen the man of the match and the man of the series. Earlier, the hosts resumed their overnight score of 18 for no loss and were 127 for 2 at lunch.
Cover drive सीधा गप्टिल जो कि कवर पे खड़े थे उनके हाथ आउट हुए गौतम गंभीर.
In the post-lunch session, Cheteshwar Pujara scored his 8th test ton as India declared their second innings at 216 for 3, setting a mammoth 475-run target. Pujara remained unbeaten at 101, with Ajinkya Rahane making 23 not out. New Zealand skipper Kane Williamson admitted that Kohli and Rahane's centuries contributed to India's victory.
There were some good signs with the bat at times, but certainly the way Virat and Ajinkya showed in this game, to get to 500 with two guys Virat getting a double 100 and Ajinkya a big 100, those are contributions that go a long way to winning cricket games. And
skipper Virat Kohli was presented with ICC Test Championship mace for leading his team to the top of the Test team rankings. Kohli became the only second India captain after Mahendra Singh Dhoni and 10th overall to receive the mace, even though it is for the third time since Kohli took over as captain that India have led the rankings table. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Let's get you some more sporting action in Sports Beat. India registered their second win at the ongoing 2016 Kabaddi World Cup, defeating Bangladesh 57-20 in a must-win game in Ahmedabad on Tuesday. India, who had earlier defeated Australia but lost against South Korea in the opener, now top Group A with 11 points. The hosts will now face Argentina in their next encounter on 15th of October. India's under-17 side suffered their third straight loss in the 2016 BRICS Football Cup, going down 0-1 against China. Chinese forward Huang Kong scored in the 6th minute of the injury time to give his side 3 points. With the loss, India remained at the bottom of the table while China is at the second last position. Golfer Aditi Ashok became the first Indian woman to register her third straight top 10 European Tour finish, ranking 9th at the Honda Ladies European Masters in Germany. Last year, Aditi won the Ladies British Amateur Championship in England and finished second at the European Women's Amateur Championship. She is currently ranked 34th on the Ladies European Tour rankings. In tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic cruised into the Shanghai Masters third round with a 6-3, 6-3 win over Italy's Fabio Fognini on Tuesday. Defending champion Djokovic showed little signs of injury against his unseeded opponent, winning 83% of his first serve points in a match that lasted an hour and 15 minutes. And Italy's Olympic Committee has officially withdrawn its bid to stage the 2024 Olympic Games in Rome. This comes after the City Council voted to oppose the project. Now, Rome's mayor had earlier said that the city is more pressing ways to spend the money, and staging the Games would bury the city under huge debt. Well, that's all in this edition of news, but news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha TV. Thanks for watching.